Grain mills, stockyards, dairy farms, and warehouses. You could argue that modern civilization began here, places outside the home that began to ease the daily burdens of having to grow and process food, freeing more people to move beyond subsistence, pursue specialized skills, and begin laying the groundwork for modern societies. These places gave rise to bakers, butchers, cheesemakers, chocolatiers, and other artisans that helped feed towns as they grew into the cities we know today. A modern and thriving food industry now serves those cities and their surrounding towns and countrysides throughout the whole of Europe. More than ever, markets are driving changes in this industry, changes in how food companies make and market their products and meet their customers' needs. The challenge lies in keeping prices consistent for consumers without sacrificing margins. The solution requires managing a whole world of commodity and financial market price risks effectively. That's where we come in. We're INTL FCStone.
I'm Erin Cox with INTL FCStone. I'm here in this historic mill town just outside of Madrid, Spain, to talk about how INTL FCStone can help food processors and manufacturers, consumer packaged goods companies, and retailers protect their margins against price volatility, anywhere from ingredients to energy to currencies and credit costs. Why here? Well, the contrast between the methods of the past and the innovative tools and technology platforms we use today couldn't be sharper. But certain values from earlier times persist in our offering today. It's high-touch service, customized products, and expertise that's gained from experience. Let's see how we put it all together to help our companies hedge their risk, secure their margins, and grow.
Our job is working with the entire supply chain, everything from large-scale farmers, traders, food processors and end users.
We work with big traders or we work with smaller clients, mid-market clients like flour mills, for example, in the Black Sea region.
We have clients as well in North Africa and the Middle East, but Europe-based clients primarily. They have an exposure to commodity prices going up and going down, and that creates risk and opportunity. My job is to manage the risk part of that equation.
For a lot of our customers, if they're creating consumer brand, the reality is the customers want a stable price. They want to know when they go into their coffee shop and they're picking up a pastry or an ice cream, the reason that price stays stable for most of the year. Now the challenge there for a lot of our customers is that their raw materials are anything but stable. So they're dealing with raw material prices which can change 20% in a month. So if you're operating on a reasonably tight margin, that can, essentially put you into a loss-making situation. So it's extremely important then that our customers can manage those margins and manage that price risk.
Back when this mill was operating, these canals lent more than beauty. Their waters powered the mill and provided a means of transport for inputs and finished goods. Today's food companies rely on a complex mix of commodities and connected financial markets to run their businesses.
One of the challenges that the food industry in Europe has is the sourcing of ingredients throughout the world. And many of the commodity producing regions, for example, coffee, sugar and cocoa in Latin America, palm oil in Malaysia, these are areas where there's currency risk, and food companies in Europe have to address that currency risk.
If I'm working on it with a dairy customer, they likely have exposure to other products. They probably have some international imports or exports, so they've got a currency exposure. They may have exposure to interest rates. They may have exposure to energy, oilseeds, grains. We have specialists in each of these products.
I think that most food manufacturing companies are not aware that they are able to use energy products to help them with their energy risk exposures.
Most companies are at least on some level managing commodity risk, but foreign exchange and interest rate risk, the cost of capital years out into the future, this is far often neglected, and those that do take a proactive approach have a strategic advantage over their competitors because one, they're not subject to that level of volatility, but also there are opportunities in the market that they're able to capitalize on over the long term.
I think food manufacturing companies do have a specific need for the local currency payments. Because if there is an invoice to be paid in a specific dollar amount, but multiple intermediary banks are involved, you don't know upfront how much dollars will arrive at the beneficiary bank or at the account, right? So it might very well be that the corporate customer has to pay a top-up payment to make sure that the invoice is being paid in full, or they pay too much, and it's quite a hassle to get dollars back out of the more exotic markets.
A big part of our job is to spend a lot of time listening to the customer, really understanding their business, finding out where their risks and their exposures are. Our clients, are quite exposed to quite a few different trends. You'll have political trends, which will make a massive impact in terms of how their industry is evolving. As well as that, you're going to see a lot of consumer trends.
Eating habits and food demand, essentially.
We have a lot of shift in consumer patterns when it comes to grains, gluten-free, vegan even, and I think this is one of the key challenges for them to keep up with the constantly changing consumer preferences.
In places like this, where the producers, processors, and distributors of agricultural commodities once converged, so did news. Today, we call it market intelligence, and it is more important than ever to a company's ability to make informed decisions about operations, strategy, and long-term planning.
Within INTL FCStone, we have, for virtually every commodity, we have a very strong market intelligence team. It's important that we really know everything that's happening in the market at a given point in time. So we have a team of leading international economists, as well as a broad team of consultants and brokers around the world.
And so when we look at what's happening in Brazil or what's happening in Malaysia or Europe, a lot of times we're providing advisory services and market intelligence that reflects what's happening in the commodity world and reflects what's happening in the food industry. And our job is to educate our client and present opportunities and then help them make the best decisions about which opportunities they want to capitalize on in the market.
Education is a really key part of our business. We have regular large-scale seminars where we'll get 150, 200 people within the industry in one room so that they can learn off their peers. We also do a lot of specialized educational pieces where we have, for example, regular webinar series where we'll educate people on different tools and instruments, and then we'll have working groups where we'll sit people down for maybe a full week, and we'll work with them on different risk management strategies or policies, and every day we're talking with a customer, we almost have our education hat on.
It's hard to believe that tools like these were once cutting edge, but innovation has always led the way. Whether in the fields, mills, processing plants, packaging, or the financial markets, European companies are leading the way.
We help our clients manage their price risk when it comes to buying and selling their physical. We do this via the whole spectrum of risk management tools, from exchange traded listed and futures and options, to OTC swaps, strategies, and to the most sophisticated structured products. Our goal is to tailor the products as best as we can to match our client needs when it comes to their risk profile, their budget, and their market view.
If we're dealing with a customer and they're exposed to a risk which we don't necessarily have a product already developed for, we will work closely with them and with the broader industry to develop that product. We've done an awful lot around developing new products and bringing new instruments to the table. Innovation is really a core belief that we have as a business.
At INTL FCStone, we rely on innovation to help customers drive their businesses forward, but we also pair it with a time-tested approach that may be as old as commerce itself. putting customers first.
I like the customer interaction, first of all, that we're able to create really close bonds with our clients on a personal level. And what clients value is that we understand every aspect of the product supply chain, from consumers, producers, merchants, processors.
Diverse offerings, deep expertise, and a commitment to putting customers first. That's INTL FCStone.
To learn more about how our professionals can partner with you to help you win market share, manage price volatility, and grow your business, visit our website today.